Hi, and today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my kind of top 5 face primers for dry skin especially. Also, let's pretend this looks good. But I just thought I would do a video just sharing with you my favourite face primers that are all super affordable. So none of these are high end. I class all of these as super, well, I don't class them, they are super affordable. And for me, face primers are just one of my favourite face products ever. I love my face primers and I feel like I've tested a good amount to be able to do this video and just put together like my top 5. I'm pretty sure I do actually have 5. So if you want to know my favourite face primers that are all affordable, these are also specifically targeted for dry skin because they are quite hydrating or dewy primers. So if you want to know what they are, then make sure you are subscribed, give the video a thumbs up too, and just keep watching. So I think I might start with like the most pricey one and then go down. Maybe, or you know what, I'll just go for it. I'll just do them in random and hope for the best. So the first one I'm going to go in with is the one that I'm actually wearing on my face right now. This is probably my favourite out of all of the ones that I'm going to talk about. This is the Flower Beauty Supernova Celestial Skin Elixir. Like I said, I've used this so many times on my channel. I did like a whole video testing out like the Flower foundation, the concealer, and I have this primer as well, and I've just loved it ever since I've had it. I've been using it a lot more now because my skin's been a bit more dry. It used to be kind of oily and then like combination, but now it's a lot more dry than it is oily. This is a really nice primer for me now. So I don't think it is actually classed as a face primer, but I use it as one. And I know that Drew Barrymore, who obviously is the creator of Flower, she uses this as a face primer anyway, and so do I, and I've been using it like that and I love it. On the packaging it just says it's a perfecting oil, it has ultra light texture, smoothing and brightening as well, and it's just kind of to enhance your skin's radiance, I guess. One thing I will say about this is that it does have little specks of glitter in it. That's the only downside to it, but you can't see it through the foundation. You can't see it once you've put concealer or foundation on your skin. It's just gone. It just gives you a really nice glow all around your face. Like I said, it is the face primer that I'm wearing on my skin today, but it just gives a really nice overall glow. I also just use this on its own if my skin's just feeling a bit dry, or if I'm not wearing any makeup and I just want a bit of dewiness, I'll just apply this over my face. So obviously if you have oily skin, I don't think you're gonna like this because it is an oil and it is very glowy. You will get oily throughout the day if you use this 100%, as you will with any oil probably. So again, if you have oily skin, this probably isn't for you. But like I said, this video is pretty much about dewy primers and primers that are really good for dry skin because that's my situation at the moment. I think that's all I have to say about it. I just really love it. I love the packaging, I love the colour of it, I just love the whole idea of this primer, and it's just really good. Been loving it, and I love mixing it in with different foundations. This is one of those products that I'll use with like a more matte foundation, so like the Maybelline Superstay foundation, that's a bit more on the matte side. I'll just use this in with that and it'll just kind of make it a bit more sheer and a bit dewy, and it won't like look as dry on my skin. Another foundation that I like using this with is the Colourpop foundation. That's also a good one to use because that is again a bit more on the matte side. So yeah, this is really good. Then the next one is a tiny bit on the pricier side, or it's like a similar price to this probably, but this is by the brand Autograph, and this is the Luminosity Radiant Skin Primer. This used to be one of my favourite dewy primers ever, and it still is. I'm literally almost out of this, but this I feel is just a really good dewy primer because it's not too dewy and it's not obviously matte or like satin. It is a dewy primer, but you don't look oily or greasy, whereas like this one, it is an oil, so again, if you have like combination skin even, then you might look actually oily wearing this. But something like this, it's more of like a cream, it's a bit more thick, so it just goes on a lot more nicer, and well, not nicer, but it just goes on less obviously like an oil because it is a cream. Again, obviously it's a radiating primer, so it's just gonna make your skin have a really nice glow to it. And yeah, I really love this one. This one goes quite tacky as well. Obviously this one, I'm going to keep referring to this one, but this obviously doesn't claim to be a primer, but I use it as one. This one obviously is an actual primer, and I feel like this does genuinely make my makeup last longer, and it just leaves a really nice smooth look to the skin as well. and it does go a bit sticky, very nice and tacky underneath the skin. So this is a really good one. This is kind of similar to like the Cover FX face primer, but I feel like that one is just not the best, because that one, if you put too much of that on, you'll just look like a tin man and you'll just look very aluminium like, whereas this one is just going to give you an overall like a more of a natural glow, and that's what I prefer. This one is a really good one, and this is cruelty free as well, it says on the back, which is great. It's brightening and has an invisible finish with encapsulated vitamin C under foundation to extend wear, which is great. For me, if you're in the UK, then Autograph you can get from Marks and Spencer's. They have like the stands there, so that's where I get Autograph things from. Then kind of changing from like dewy foundations, this guy is an absolute gem. I've forgotten how much this is, so I don't know if it's really classed as high-end, but I don't think it is. I don't think Touch in Sol are a high-end brand. I know the price range is, I guess, it's kind of similar to Flower and Autograph from my memory. If I'm wrong, sorry. And I wanted to talk about this because it's not a dewy primer, but I just love it so much and it doesn't dry my skin out whatsoever. But this is the No Poreblem primer from the brand Touch in Sol, and I love this. It's very, very moisturizing as well, and that's what I like about it the most, I think, because I think for me, I always find that more of those kind of pore filling primers are really like, sometimes they're a bit greasy or sometimes they're a bit too dry, and they kind of leave that like little silicone-y film over your skin, and I can't stand that. I really don't like that. But this one is just one of those that just smooths your skin out really nicely. It moisturizes it, and I feel like it does genuinely make my makeup last as well, which obviously is the point, that's what we want. I did get this because I think it was Jefree Star and Kathleen Lights were both raving about this, so I obviously had to get it. When I use this, I do literally just put this everywhere on my face. Usually with the kind of pore filling primers or pore smoothing primers, I just kind of concentrate it like on my cheeks or like in between my brows, my nose and my chin. They're kind of like the main areas that I like to smooth out. But with this one, because it's so moisturizing and so nourishing, I just literally put it everywhere, and it smooths your skin out so nicely, and your foundation applies really nice on top. This is one of those primers that I love to use when it's kind of like my time of the month, when I have like a bit of breakouts and I just have a lot of texture and my skin's just not as smooth as it usually is, and this kind of evens everything out and it just kind of helps a little bit. This is also a gem for that reason as well. Okay, so I have another primer that's very similar to this. I feel like it can be a dupe for this actually. This is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This is like still very famous on the internet right now, but this is the very, very, very famous kind of dupe for the Tatcha Silk Canvas, I think it's called. It looks like this. It's in similar packaging, as in like it's like a screw top kind of container situation, but this is a really, really good primer. I did a testing video on this as well, and I think that like in that video I was okay with it, but I wasn't fully obsessed with it, and then I stopped using it for like a month or so, and then I went back to it and I just became obsessed with it, and I'm still obsessed with it now. It's still definitely one of my favorite affordable face primers ever. Obviously it's in my top 5. But this again is very similar to this, and it just smooths out your skin as the Touch in Sol one does, and I don't find it drying on my skin. I do find it to be a bit hydrating. It's not super hydrating or moisturizing. I think this one is better if you want a bit of moisture in your skin, but this one just smooths out your skin so nicely, and you can see it genuinely works when, like for me anyway, when I apply it especially to my cheek area, it just smooths everything out. And it's kind of the same thing with this one. If it's my time of the month or any time I've got like texture or anything like that, this is again a really good face primer to use at that time, and it just really helps with anything. And this is kind of one of those primers that I'll kind of pair with something like the Flower one, or something where if I want like dewiness around my face, I'll use like the Flower one kind of like around the perimeter, and then I can use one of these just kind of like on my cheeks, my T-zone area, and then you just kind of got the best of both worlds, because you've got a nice smooth canvas, but then you've got like an overall glow on the rest of your skin as well. We love the e.l.f. one. And then we've just got 2 more. So the next one is probably the closest thing to the Flower one, but might be a bit better if you have combination to oily skin. This is the Barry Unicorn Primer Drops. Again, I've done an entire testing video on this thing, and I like this. Well, I've been obsessed with it since I tried it. For starters, it smells so nice. It smells like sweets. It smells really, really good, and this is literally like so affordable, so affordable. Probably the most affordable, if not the most affordable, out of all the primers I've got here, and it's just so nice. Obviously this is supposed to be a dupe for the Farsali, is it the unicorn? It must be the unicorn essence or whatever it's called, but it comes, obviously it's like a little dropper bottle, and it is more like an oil like I said, but it doesn't feel like one whatsoever. It does make your skin very, very dewy, and it gives like the appearance that you have an oil all over your skin, but it doesn't feel or look like you've got an oil. Like this one, when you have this just on your bare skin, you can tell you've got an oil on your skin. This one, it just gives you a bit more of a natural glow, so this is probably better for like no makeup days, but I do like the flower one because I do need the extra hydration sometimes. But this one I just feel is just kind of the best of both. Like it's not too oily, too greasy, and it just gives you still a really, really nice overall glow. Okay, then the final face primer that I'm obsessed with. Again, I've been obsessed with this a bit more recently as well, and I think I talked about this in my last video, but this is the Catrice Prime and Fine Fresh It Up Aqua Fresh Hydro Primer. This has bamboo water in it, which I don't know what that genuinely does, but I just feel like it helps with how moisturizing this product actually is. So when it comes to like super affordable brands like Catrice or like Essence maybe, I'm kind of like, is it actually gonna work? Is it gonna be that good? But this is just really, really good. Especially if you have dry skin, you will love this. It hydrates your skin so nicely. You can just use this as like a moisturizer alone. When I want to use this face primer, I won't use a moisturizer before this. I'll just use like an SPF or something and I'm good to go, because this is definitely one of the most hydrating face primers that I've got. I'd probably say this one and the Smashbox one are definitely the most hydrating ones I've got, and that one is super pricey. This one is again so affordable and it's just really, really good. Again, it does go like a bit tacky but not too tacky, and it just, I feel like it just soaks into your skin really nicely. This is the way forward. Okay, so that is everything done. I hope this video wasn't too long, but thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this helpful if you are looking for a affordable primer or just a really good primer in general. Like, these are just all the ones. So thank you again so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to. If you don't, that's fine, and I will see you in my next video.